Is everyone clapping? It's 7 p.m. and I'm inside, but I know that people are outside clapping. So I would be doing this from the fire escape, but instead I'm doing it in the closet, acknowledging all of the people that are on the front line, working on the front line. Yay! Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. I see that we have a lot of friends up in the closet today. Jamal, hey, what's up? Kate Pela, hey, what's up? So, yes, give it up for the frontliners. So, with that being said, here I am again, once again in the closet. I'm working with various levels today. I can either be up here or I can be up here or back here. So one of the things that I want to try and allow myself to be today is a bit more vulnerable and allow myself to actually be able to pay attention to what's going on the screen. Hey! And yeah, take my time. I had less coffee today, so maybe that will help. But yeah, I want everyone to remember, and I'll keep. Yes, we love you too, Jamal. We are well, and I hope you're well as well. I want to just let everyone know that this is a safe space and there's no judgment. So feel free to ask me any questions, and I'll try to catch up with you in the timeline, just so that yeah, we can kind of keep this communication open, because I'm interested in having conversations with you all while I'm in the closet, so that it's not just me strictly talking about what I'm working on. Good to hear that. Much love, much love. One of the things that I thought that I'd like to talk about right from the top, before I get to like all that's happening right now, what I've been thinking about all week, now that we're on Thursday, I've been thinking about how it feels a bit like humanity has had to everyone has had to step into new sides of themselves. And so I feel like stepping into a new side of yourself can be so daunting in a sense. Yes, I do make a lot of my own costumes, but I also do a lot of piecing things together in terms of like I like to deconstruct, reconstruct some things I make myself. Like this right now I'm working on making myself. To answer that question, people are asking questions simultaneously. So if I get sidetracked, it's because I'm also trying to actually have conversations with everyone and answer your questions. So what I was talking about was stepping into new sides of ourselves. And we've all been, in a sense, having to step into a new side of ourselves in this new way of being online and having to negotiate everything from like home or your space that you're in, wherever you might be social distancing yourself. And so what I thinking about stepping into a new side of myself, I forget how that actually takes a lot of extra. It takes a lot of extra energy from you, you know. And for a while, I kept thinking, oh my God, I got to do this, I got to do that. I gotta like stay on top of things, and what are we gonna do? How are we going to pay the bills? How are we gonna like make money? All of that. Like how what happens if everything gets canceled, which pretty much is what's been happening. Um yes, Afro Soul, greetings. And so how are you? And so thinking in terms of like stepping into that new space, what I found is that like I start taking on like I was in like superhero mode or something in the beginning, you know, and so this week, talking about phases, this week has really just been about giving myself the space to just like be human and stop, breathe, and take breaks and naps and just kind of like not be so hard on myself because all of this is so brand new. they call they call me Yaz. Yaz. Yes. Yes. Oh my god, I want to play dress up in your closet. Yeah. um and so, you know, actually what I have to remember is that wait, what am I doing? Why does this feel so weird here? What I have to remember is that yeah, like I said before, like give myself time to just like take a break and like take a nap. And that might be at like who knows when, you know? But what I'm finding is that like online streaming, you know, it's fun, but it also drains your energy, particularly where we are right now in the midst of like the COVID-19 craze. Okay. So this week is just about, okay, you know, I got the ideas, I'm working on the strategies, you know, but maybe sometimes I can step back from strategizing and really just go ahead and focus on my own wellness, right? My own health and wellness, eating right, getting enough sleep, which is a challenge, you know, because sometimes at nighttime my mind just keeps racing in terms of like what has to happen next. So I find that I don't go to sleep until late, you know. So we're just really starting to sink into a pattern in this household, meaning man child and I, in terms of how we navigate through everything. You know, like who's going to go to the grocery store? Who's going to clean off all the products when it comes back into the house? You know, like we're, you know, discovering our rules and playing around with that. And also playing around with the time of day that everything happens. So, oh, yes. And so, just so that you guys know, there are a number of events that will be coming up. Um, that will be nighttime events. So some of you out there that are mentioning some of those nighttime events, keep your eyes out because we will likely be doing some nighttime events that are a little bit later. And, you know, we want you guys to join in. So what I'm doing right now is I went ahead and started sewing, you know, some of these bra pads on anyway because it's what I'm working with. It's the materials that I have. Now, mind you, don't get your panties all in a bunch because I did find like a complete package of a lot of them, so I can still make face masks out of them, which I still have not started because I've been focusing on other things. But I do plan to get to that. So there are plenty of bra pads to work with for face masks. Let me see what's happening here. Huh. So what I'm doing right now is I've attached these bra pads to the shoulders of a top that I'm making, and I'm just kind of like out of the top of my head, just kind of like playing around in the closet. But I think what I'm gonna start doing is, for now, just start hot gluing stuff because it takes up less time. I mean, once I get the bra pads sewn on to this cheesecloth, then it makes it a bit easier to hot glue stuff to the bra pads. And we'll see how that works. Hey, Matthew, how are you? Hey. So, the other thing now that I'm discovering is that I can just wave back at people if I just take a deep breath and allow myself to actually be inside of where I am right now. And I'm also not using the effects on my vocals this week. Also, just to kind of like, I have some other things that I'm playing around with, and I don't want to be distracted by the echo on my voice. It will likely come back, but for this week, I'm playing around with not having that. So while that's heating up, peace. Hey, DJ Taurus the Bull. How's everyone doing out there? Are y'all good? Thank you. I was debating on whether or not I was gonna possibly finish a little bit earlier today, because what I'm realizing is that Instagram will bump me off anyway after like 45 minutes. We'll see how it goes, because if I get all caught up in something, I'll just keep going. But let's see. Stepping out of superhero mode, I mentioned that already, because I have the tendency to be an Energizer bunny, and that often poses a problem. Oh, hey. Uh, okay. So, there we go. Basically, I almost ended the the, the Facebook video because I was pushing the wrong buttons. So, anyway, I solved that. Cotton balls. So, I should mention also that right now I'm just using like cotton balls that come out of a plastic bag. I have every intention of connecting with Black Cotton US to get some actual real cotton. So keep an eye out for how that happens, because I know that they are definitely holding it down and interested in supporting, and having actual cotton would be amazing. So I'm just going to start making cotton balls that I will just connect them to the outer edges here and start building this out so that it will be big on my shoulders. And yeah, let's see if it's hot. Okay, it's getting there. Let's try it. Now, okay, so I mentioned last week when I was trying not to get too carried away in talking about stories, but working with the cotton is really interesting. I had no idea that it would actually turn into being such a well, I knew it would be time consuming. What I didn't know is how it was going to affect me emotionally when I first. Hello, Lady Sag 2007. How you doing? What I didn't know is how it would affect me emotionally when I first started in 2014 working with cotton balls. And so, because of the repetitiveness of sewing the cotton balls, which is what I stuck to in the beginning, which ended up being quite the challenge, sewing cotton balls on fabric. I discovered, like the whole spiritual element behind it, and like having to just like sitting thinking, okay, here I am picking cotton out of it is a plastic bag nonetheless, but it's still cotton, so it brings up a lot of things for me. And so sitting in the house, and this goes back to 2014, 2015, when I first started the creation, it just kept hitting me that, I'm sewing cotton, picking it out of a plastic bag, and I can't complain because I could have been a slave picking cotton. And right now I'm just in my closet picking cotton. And that's that. You can kind of read between the lines there. So in 2014, 2015, I was able to complete the project. Performed it at Jack in Brooklyn, Jack and Y. Amazing. If you don't know Jack and Y, Google it. The space is amazing. They do wonderful things for artists, and like have a lot of wonderful artists performing there. What's up, Jack and Y? And so I'm just waving at people right now. Hey. So after I did that show there, the plan was to continue on developing more cotton costumes, and then to eventually film everything on an actual plantation in Virginia. Actually, that was supposed to happen before the actual show. So we ended up just getting footage other places along the East Coast. But what I discovered from the beginning stages, because the Cotton Project is an ongoing project, but I've had to readjust how I actually handle creating the costumes and all of that sort of thing. Because not only does it take an emotional toll on me. Oh, let's see. I think I might have a request. Adjust how I actually handle. Hi. Costumes.
Hi. Are we on?
All of this sort of thing. I don't know. I can hear you, but I can't see you. Am I supposed to be able to see you?
I don't know. But this is so exciting.
I can see you now. I mean, no, I can't see you. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, gosh. I have you in the background, so it's a little bit odd on Facebook. I'll turn that off.
Okay. Hi, Kate Pala.
Hi, Monstah Black.
So, do you have any questions you want to ask me or anything while I'm like gluing cotton balls to the
shoulders? I see. This is amazing, and thank you for being and doing this and being our resident artist at Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning.
Yay!
Yay!
We love Jamaica Center for Arts and Learning.
Yes, we do. I wanted to ask you, I won't do this too much during your process.
Okay.
But you were beginning to talk about cotton.
Yes.
And your experiences and your thoughts.
Yes.
Can you give us a bit of a flavor of the discussion that we've had in the past about the concept of cotton and its relationship to the DNA of the African American slave experience?
Oh, right. So my idea around starting the project, I felt, was the idea of building a mythical fantasy world around using cotton balls in an attempt to bring light to cotton, because all the images that I've grown up with, and in general, with slavery and slaves picking cotton, I felt like there was a need in myself to bring something else to the forefront to associate with cotton, not to forget history, but in a sense to empower myself in the current time. So because there's just so many images that bring like such pain to the forefront with cotton and the history of cotton. So in an attempt to reshape my thought process around the idea of cotton, I decided to create these cotton costumes and the Cotton Project. So, and also there's the idea of not really having a whole lot of like black fairy tales, African American fairy tales. And so, and I love fairy tales. So it was also an attempt to create this mythology, through costuming and images around the idea of cotton. So, and I feel like, in a sense, that it's a way of my own internal healing by doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a healing,
and so it's a healing. That's amazing.
It is a healing, but it's also like any healing process. It is challenging because because of what I was talking about earlier before you called in about like how it's kind of like a mind a mind, it kind of messes with your mind actually when I'm like going through this whole cotton process. It's been several years now since I first started, so now I'm in a different place thinking about it, but it's still there. And yeah, so now I'm, and this is the reason why I had dropped so much of the making of costumes before. Probably I didn't really make very much, with the exception of being at Yaddo and starting the small pieces in 2017. I was being like really mindful of like how much I was working with the cotton, and that's just one aspect of it in terms of like the history and all of the pain that goes along with it. The other part of that, which I haven't mentioned, are you still there, Kate? Because I can't.
I am here. I just was reading a little note. Somebody said they can't see the video.
Oh, they can't see my video or your video?
One person. Yeah. Can other people see it so that your talking to me doesn't X out the video for others?
Let me see. I can see me, but I can't see you.
I can see you. Ask if others can see you too, so they can.
Can everyone else see me?
Wanderlust is on.
Hi, Wanderlust. No, I can't see. Okay.
Oh, they can't see. So let's get off.
Okay.
Of live, because that might be the problem.
Okay. Let me see. Can you see me now? Can you see me now? Can everyone see me now? It's frozen. Only see green screen. That's weird. Okay. I'm on Facebook, but I'm trying to figure out the Instagram. Oh my god, technology. I'm gonna log back into Instagram. And now. All right, so this means what this means then is that maybe Instagram will last longer. So, anyway, I'm back now. And Groovelicious joined back in. Hey, so I'm sad that I'm not able to actually talk to someone on Instagram. Hi, Valerie, just joined the closet. I'm so sad that I can't talk to people on Instagram, but I think maybe I can see now where I can actually, there's like two facing, so we can try it later next time. So, anyway, I was saying that the emotional element happens with cotton. But also, what I realized, what I did not know was going to happen was when I first started making like all the cotton music and some of the costumes, and we started performing like those songs live. There was one performance that we had, um, and what happened was everything was fine during the whole performance, but then, ow, that hurt. That's why I hate using hot glue sometimes because it burns you. But anyway, live performance and cotton balls is tricky. Okay. So the whole song was fine in the performance until at the end it was supposed to be this whole big swirling thing or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the cotton gets wrapped around my neck, and then, the last note, I take a deep breath in. And then what I wasn't expecting is for a piece of cotton to like suck into my throat on that inhale before I hit the last note. So that was not pretty because once I realized that, I mean, the note came out and I held it. I mean, I held on to that note, but I was also holding on to that piece of cotton that was in my throat. I mean, it wasn't like a huge cotton ball like this, but trust me, even just a tiny piece of cotton get it going into your throat, like it just kind of like, ugh. So I held the note, let go of the note, took the time to bow, and then ran to the backstage where I immediately began to like cough, choke, that whole thing, like dizziness, blah, blah, blah. And so that kind of freaked me out. Wasn't expecting that. Wasn't expecting to choke during the performance on a cotton. But anyway, I survived. I lived to tell it. And, that was also one of the reasons why I was like, let me just give cotton a break, and focus on something else. So that's one of the reasons why I turned it into a film, because it happens once and then it can happen over and over and over again on the screen. So, but anyway, with all that being said, here I am again, gluing cotton balls to bra pads. And it is now 7:29, 7:30. And I just want to do a quick check-in because I know that we have some new people that have joined. And so I want to just give everyone a chance. If you want to, you know, we've already tried the dialing in thing, and it basically, because I didn't push something, I'm sure there's something that I wasn't doing. That didn't work out. But I just want to know how y'all are doing. Are you good out there? Is everyone okay? I just want to remind you that this is a safe space. No judgment. No judgment whatsoever. I'm just hanging out in the closet, working on cotton costumes. I'm using cotton balls, bra pads, and some cheesecloth. And, I'm just hanging out, providing a safe space for anyone to join, ask questions. It's all good. It's a safe space, no judgment. So, one of the things that I'm discovering for myself in particular from this whole quarantine process is how important it is to just take one day at a time. And, take one day at a time, do what you can, and, meet yourself where you land, to quote Chichi Igbuna. Rest in peace, Chichi. Amazing yogi, guide, super inspirational teacher who used to guide practices at Sacred Brooklyn. I always loved that moment. We'd be in class and he would just say, meet yourself where you land. And that stuck with me. So I just try to meet myself where I land every day. Neck deep. Neck deep. One of the other things that I've been playing around with is revisiting some of the sounds from the original Cotton, because it was 60 minutes of original music and projection. Shout out to Serene Harabadian and Gilvanis Jonusis and Lisa Pitts. And Ashley Brockington, actually. We can hear her voice a little bit in the background. I've been revisiting those songs from the original Cotton. Actually, it might be kind of dope if I just cover all of these bra pads. So, today, I started playing around with this track, Neck Deep. Which, back in 2015, it had turned into one thing, but I feel like 2014, 2015, at this point, is so long ago. Like, so many things have happened. We're just in a completely different place now. And so, although I'm saving the vocals, I'm changing some of the instrumentation. So basically I removed a lot of the original instrumentation so that I can like revisit it now in this space and time just to see where it goes. Anyone have any questions before I get completely lost up in this gluing process that I just got really excited by? I could actually, well, no, I'm not going to do that. I was about to say I'll try reconnecting Kate, but then I'm afraid I'm going to get it wrong and everyone will still see nothing but like black or green or something, whatever it is. Walking into the sun. I can see it fade for now. Hiding behind the horizon. Let's see. Walking into the sun. If only for this time. We're ascending to the heavens. So, again, if you've just joined, I'm inviting you all into my process. This is the cotton process. And I realized that, you know, when the slaves would pick cotton, they had songs that they would sing together. Walking into the sun. And so what I decided to do a little bit today was to just let the track repeat itself over and over and over again. Not the whole thing. I'm not giving everything away for free on Instagram. Because this is leading up to an actual performance that you'll have to tune into online. Sometime towards the end of May. Or the actual end of May. We'll see. I don't know. Everything's up in the air. Everyone knows that everything's up in the air. So, again, one day at a time. Okay, so this is a little bit aside from cotton. I'm really curious, and you can put your answers in the comments if you want. I'm really curious about those of you who also live in apartment buildings and who don't have washers and dryers. How are you doing your laundry? Hiding behind the horizon. Slowly weeping, saying it down. Slowly weeping. Where will we sleep tonight? Where will we sleep tonight? Where will we lay our head to rest? Where will we lay our head to rest? If only for this time. Only for this time. We're ascending to the heavens. We're ascending to the heavens. Okay. Is that working? Let me just move this thing. This is what's happening now. This is what's happening now on the side. I'm attaching all of these. I'm attaching cotton balls to all of this. The shoulder pads, bra pads. Walking into the sun. Walking into the sun. I can see it faithful now. I can see it faithful now. Hiding behind the horizon. Hiding behind the horizon. Slowly weeping, saying it down. Slowly weeping. Where will we sleep tonight? Oh no. Where will we sleep tonight? Where will we lay our head to rest? Where will we lay our head to rest? If only for this time. If only for this time. We're ascending to the heaven. We're ascending to the heaven. I said oh no because I just realized that I'm running out of glue sticks. So that means that I have to do a quick run to Home Depot. Yikes. I'm not gonna go right now, of course. But I just want to check in with everyone to make sure that... Oh, okay, so why isn't it scrolling? Naturally, without me moving it. Slowly weeping. Where will we sleep tonight? Where will we lay our head to rest? Where will we lay our head to rest? Only for this time. We're ascending to the heaven. Let's see. So now that I can't, because I can't continue to glue, I can actually begin to... I'm gonna undo all this because all of this is just to get it out of my way. These are actually the sleeves. I can see it faithful now. Of course, they can be adjusted however. Hiding behind the horizon. Hiding behind the horizon. Oh, interesting. Okay. So they were sleeves, but now they are not sleeves because I basically sewed them up. I sew them up into the thing. So, perfect. Because what I like to keep in mind and remind myself is that the magic is in the mistakes. Okay? So, the magic is in the mistake here. So now, when I go to put this on, the sleeve is actually sewn up over onto the other sleeve, which is ultimately going to create another completely different shape that I wasn't necessarily going for, but I have a feeling that I'm going to feel it. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people that have been making comments, and I just didn't see it scrolling because it's not scrolling on its own, which I'm not real sure about how I feel about that because I would rather. Oh, there we go. I like that. Yes, thank you. Hiding behind the horizon. Slowly weeping. So sometimes because I have like the music playing in the background, everything just kind of fits into each other, right? So, and this is, I'm not just doing this for Instagram. It often happens like when I'm just in the closet, I'm creating, and I can't focus on just one thing. So, like, the music is often playing, and the costume is being created, but then because I'm listening to the music, it'll send me into like what it feels like, right? Because it's all about feeling, really, right? So everything that I start to just develop, I start to feel what might possibly be choreography, right? So I can see it paper now. So I allow myself to just go ahead and go there sometimes with the physicality. And if I'm recording it, then I can go back and learn what I've recorded. You know, so I don't know. I'm still drawn to this idea of being able to have like a headpiece made out of these. But it might be good to actually still cover the head this with cotton balls too. Let's see. How does that look? I don't know. It's possible. This is possible, right? If I attach cotton balls to this, and I can kind of like hook it around somehow. I don't know. The possibilities are endless. There must be a way to make it work. Actually, if I attach it from here around to the back, then I got this whole piece sticking out. The possibilities are endless. Wave, 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 wave. Ah, what happened? Oh, there we go. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to leave the screen alone because every time I touch something, something goes dark. So I'm clearly doing something wrong. Walking into the sun. I can see it paper now. Hiding behind the horizon. Slowly weeping, saying it down. Where will we sleep tonight? Where will we lay our head to rest? Boom, boom, shh, boom, boom, shh. Okay. So that actually stayed on my head through all that somehow. So maybe, I don't know, I'll figure it out. I need to get elastics anyway, because if I'm going to make a face mask, several face masks, I'm going to need elastic. But the fabric store isn't open, so that means I have to find elastic. Oh, I just thought of something. But you know what would make good elastic? I mean, underwear has good elastic attached to it, which reminds me of another element of cotton that I might bring out next week. We'll see what happens. And maybe I will have figured out the face mask possibility. Let's see. Just doing another quick check-in. Y'all good out there? How long does it take for you to make a costume? Well, it depends. I'm pretty good under pressure if I get asked to do something last minute, like if I was asked to do something tomorrow. I'm pretty good at whipping up some sort of costume, but that also means I'm like mostly using scissors and safety pins and maybe sewing a little bit, but generally, you know, I can whip something up really fast, but I know that this is a long process now. It's taking me a while. And that's partially because I'm trying to be really specific and detail oriented to make sure that it's like, and you know, in a sense, I have the time to do that now. So it could take me a night to make a costume, or it could take me a year to develop something completely, or 6 months. It depends on what I'm using actually to build that costume and what that involves. That's a good question. What is it? How long does it take for you to make a costume? Let's see, what other questions do we have here? What is the name of your costume? Ah, that's a good one. What is the name of my costume? Well, I have to think on that one because there's a bunch of things popping into my head, and I want to make sure that I keep it in this kind of like mythical fairy tale realm. Mythical fairy tale realm. Mythical fairy tale realm. Mythical fairy tale realm. I like that. So, mythical fairy tale realm. Mythical fairy tale. Fairy. Mythical. I'm gonna have to come back next week with the name of this costume because now I don't want to spend the rest of my time standing here going, I mean, I could do that because, you know, although I'm making myself super vulnerable for this Instagram and Facebook Live, I mean, I have to stay honest with myself. I mean, I am a performer, so there is an element of me being vulnerable, but it's also performative. So I could break into performing at any moment, which, you know, you've probably already caught on to that. And right now, what I am going to figure out for next week is how I can get this to scroll better and know what questions are being asked. I have a dryer, etc., but when traveling, I wash stuff in the sink or shower. Yes, that's what I've been doing. Washing stuff in the sink or shower. Actually, getting into the shower in your underwear and washing them does wonders. Like, that is definitely a travel tip that I am using for this COVID-19. And the tub. Yes, using the tub. Hot water in the tub. Hot water in the tub to wash your underwear. Hot water in the tub to wash your socks. Hot water in the tub to wash those gloves that you're using to scrub your groceries. Yes, y'all. Yes. The reality that we're living in today. Neck deep in cotton, too. Neck deep in cotton. I want to thank you all for joining because we have about, about 4 minutes left before 8 p.m. And then it's going to be dinner time. Neck deep. So funny to think where this could possibly go in the middle of like this whole thing at any moment. Just because I can see it paper now. Earlier I was playing with what it looks like if I stand behind it and actually have my head on the top. So if I readjust it like this, but then you can see my shoulders, so the illusion doesn't really work the way that I want it to. I'll have to work on that. So, supplies. I gotta go to Home Depot. I'm assuming that Home Depot is the only place right now that will have glue sticks. Everything else is closed. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, because I know that the fabric store is closed. And I have to have thick glue sticks. Glue sticks and thread and elastic. Yes. I want to thank you all for tuning in today. Be sure to tip or donate if you like. The link is in the bio. And next week I'll be back with probably a little bit more info about some of the other pieces that I've done. But now that I've started the cotton process will always have some sort of life within this closety realm. But maybe next week I'll touch on other pieces that I've done, because they are in this world already, and so all I have to do is pull them out and start talking about them, and maybe it'll inspire something new to me. You guys make sure that you take some time for yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Breathe. Tune in on Wednesdays to Live the Hype Life lunch hour at 1 p.m. with the Illustrious Blacks on Instagram and Facebook. Monstah Manchild Black on Facebook and the Illustrious Blacks on Instagram. I want to thank you again for tuning in. My name is Monstah Black. And you've been back in the closet with Monstah Black. I can see it paper now. So until next time,
It's 20 hours.
It's 20 hours. Over and out. Bye. Ciao. Aviento. Okay, so this is interesting. I love the way the computer lady, I slowed her down as slow as she could go, and so whenever she says anything, it's like, it's 20 hours.